Welcome, my friends, to the show, Juicyfroot Reviews. I'm your host, Juicy, and this show focuses on reviewing scripts, movies, filmmaking process and strategies, music provided for films and TV shows, and much more. In this episode, we'll discuss current filmmaking phases and strategies and processes. We'll discover the differences and protocols between the three, and we'll take a deep dive into each one and see how they're dependent on each other. Finally, I'll take you on a quick journey through time to look at a film production done in a specific decade or era of movie making. So hold on. But before we do that, smash that like or thumbs up button, share the video, and comment, follow, do all that neat stuff. We want to hear from you too of what you thought of this episode and about the things you think would make a great episode. What movies or scenes, TV shows, or music, like soundtracks, do you want us to explore? You know you want to do it, so do it! So, we're going to focus on a typical big-budget studio movie project to keep it simple. However, this is a comprehensive list that won't be as huge for smaller studios or independents. Also, this list is not an exhaustive one showing every detail, which can be daunting. Again, I'll try to keep it simple. Now, there are 5 phases in a film production: development, pre-production, production, post-production, and distribution, in that order. And each of those has its own process, and the process is simply just a step-by-step procedure of multiple steps happening concurrently. More importantly are the strategies that are followed, which I'll mention, sometimes subtly. So let's take a closer look at each phase and see the process and the strategies employed. Development. Development usually starts with a producer looking for a project, or it's assigned to a project to manage from the studio. That means they need to find a script, or they'll be provided one from the studio, or an adaptation is considered as the basis for a script. Once the script and the rights are secured, financing is the next and major hurdle that affects the whole project. Sometimes an attached actor or director will be the producer or will partner with the producer to secure financing. Having big names attached to a project should make it easier getting the funding needed. The last item I'll mention here is a schedule which encompasses the production from now until the ending of the post-production. So, the scope, which is the script, the cost, aka the budget, and the time, which is the schedule, are captured here in this phase and can set the tone and direction for the rest of the project. These aren't set in stone, but used as a litmus test for a producer that knows their stuff to keep within budget and on-time delivery. Pre-production, which includes location scouting, hiring of a director if needed, the cast and crew, artists, permits, set builds, special effects and CGI prep, renting of any equipment, hiring of security and construction services, and budget considerations. There are more folks like second crews and directors, the assistants for VIPs, and other folks, and the like. There are script reads and rehearsals, actor prepping, which means body shaping and character manipulating, script changes and updates, and scheduling for shooting days. Also, final meetings between the producer, director, and the cast and crew to ensure all are on the same page and ready for day one shooting. Production. The big day is here, and everyone should be ready to do what they do best until the last day of shooting, which could take several months, especially if there are multiple locations or overseas shooting. Sets with proper lighting, sound, cameras, and the crews are the first to arrive to prepare the set for any actor scenes. Actors arrive and the soundstage bell is rung to command silence on the set, and the director yells, "Lights, camera, action," right? History is made, right? I know, I'm dating myself in those last 2 sentences, so sue me. Still, it's done just this way. The director is the top dog on the set and usually has the last word unless the producer or studio execs jump in the mix. Don't forget, a director can be fired just like an actor or crew member. The director takes on the most responsibility and stress, but gets paid well for it. Some directors use tactics to get the best reactions from actors, like shooting a gun when they're supposed to be shocked or surprised. Dealing with potential issues stalling the project is something they also face. Weather, sickness, alcohol, drug or sexual abuse, bad work ethics, union strikes, funding woes, and a myriad of other problems could plague a project. No one can foresee these things, so why worry? Deal with it as it comes, I say. I'm sure they'll agree. The last day of shooting and the last scene is recorded. It is time for some champagne, hugs and kisses, goodbye, and a congratulations to all. Reshoots are a thing during production, but can't be done during post-production if absolutely necessary. Post-production. This step can make or break a film and is likely the most overlooked and underfunded phase for some projects. The way around this is to hire well-known editors and composers who have a history of great work and impeccable reputations. However, this is no guarantee of a box office hit. The best edited film with a rocking soundtrack can flop for several reasons prior to reaching this phase. The job here is to get all clips fashioned together in a cohesive manner with the audio at proper levels. Color grading, contrast, brightness, audio mixing and mastering including music, and formatting, resolution, and rendering of the final video are just some of the items to mention. The director's job here is to work with the editor and composer to enhance or complement the director's vision of the final product. Some allow some freedom, while others demanding it to be a certain way, and these actions of artists are just extensions of themselves. Distribution includes theater releases, streaming channels, trailers, director and or cast interviews with panel Q&As, global marketing teams, social media ads and movie posters. This is all self-explanatory, but it's important and directly affects the box office revenue. For example, if you have a limited theater or conflicting streaming releases, or you're fighting for space in theaters with other new and popular releases, the project may break even or come in at a loss. The outlook for theaters is grim, to say the least. With mobile devices and access to downloads of movies at our fingertips, sitting in front of a big screen at exorbitant prices for refreshments and tickets is not so appealing anymore, and cheaper for studios. Which is a shame because I prefer the big screen over a 2-inch screen. That's big studio movie production in 2021 in a nutshell. Let's look back at the 1950s. Black and white ruled the day. Sometimes elaborate sets, exotic locations, and studio-owned actors where epic movies lived and died. Lots of biopics, crime dramas, thrillers, sci-fi, and horror were the major genres, but I digress. Rows and rows of films were at a premium and not to be wasted, so actors had to know the lines and movements on set, sometimes lasting several minutes in a scene. As a contrast today, the digital world has replaced exotic locations and elaborate sets with manipulated pixels. Even actors or animals are CGI. Yuck! Well, Gollum was cool, I guess. The genres haven't changed much, but some have been added, like comic book movies. Hey, if you like this episode of Juicyfroot Reviews, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you know when we drop the next video. We'd love to have you join our Juicyfroot Reviews family. Also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just click the links in the description box. We appreciate your support as it provides Juicyfroot Productions the resources and access it needs to keep providing excellent content like this. From us here at Juicyfroot Productions and Robb Entertainment Corporation, this does it for another fine episode of Juicyfroot Reviews. With your host, Juicy, saying thank you for watching and thanks for the memories. Follow me to the place